forget about sustainability, you want to enrich ecosystems.
Every being is equipped to live a positive, energetic balance.
Keep it pruned.
We are cultivating abundance.
Not a problem to cut down trees. The problem is not planting them.
Hey, what's up, Agroforestry Academy crew? We're back here in Sitio de Jazz, down here by the valley in our polyfarming system. We're 1 year down the line now. This is a year since we've planted it, exactly, since we've finished planting it. So I mean, I could have wished for better results, but then again, we paid the price for not having the labor up to scratch. We had some, unqualified labor, and then we had to, turn over the staff, and we paid a heavy price for that because it was in the rain season where we went for a few months, without steady labor. And then, in the rain season, you kind of just tend to lose control of all the forest if you're not, if your labor's not up to date and you're not there able to prune your eucalyptus, prune everything, put down all your service plants, all the chop and drop stuff. Things overgrow, and so now that we're regular now with our labor again, but we paid the price, so we're coming back and we're recovering, most of the areas through some late pruning. So the seedlings suffer, that's a fact. Also down here in our polyfarming system, we're down by the valley, very poor soils to begin with. Where I'm at the moment is particularly at the tip, so a lot of gravel and very difficult soils to work with, and with no irrigation. The system's already gone through a whole drought season, no irrigation, and then it went through a whole rain season with no management. So you can imagine, how the weed was, and all the brachiatas and and other weeds in general, and even some of the service crops that we planted ourselves, they became pretty vigorous, and we were unable to manage that. Obviously, we have a 2-hectare system here, plus we've got another couple of hectares up there with intensive fruit system. So that tends to be our direct priority, and down here more of a project that when you're working with no irrigation, when you're working with poor soils, I won't even say the no labor, but with the no irrigation and the poor soils, often using the processes, but you need to interfere to activate the process. You need to do the chop and drop, so these processes, your system develops at a different rate, so we'll have to be realistic with that. It's very good if we've got the irrigation booming, if we manage to get that soil quickly up and running, we've got all the chop and drop every 40 days active, and then you can harvest things a year early. If your tree, they predict you're going to harvest within 4 years, you harvest with 3. If it's 2, you harvest with 1. You really see amazing results when everything is active. But when you really let in nature work in its own pace, it's a little bit slower, right? So we're cool with that. I mean, I'm 100% sure this is going to be a very prosperous plot. It just takes an extra year. Do you understand? So instead of me 1 year later having a full-on grown forest, maybe it's going to be 2 years for me to have a full-grown forest, if I'm enduring the drought with no irrigation, and if it's not my priority when we're coming down to the chop and drop system. So over here, we're at the least favorable, so we've come and seen the worst of the worst at the very edge where we had, gravels and everything. But, there's plenty of cool results still. I mean, we have here Jatoba, born by seed. This is, very beloved tree for us here in the Cerrado, the Brazilian savannah. So we have the Jatoba, all the citrus, it's been very resistant, it's all there. The bananas, they're a bit shy, but as they grow, maybe the next ones will come better as we chop and drop this. The eucalyptus, they're alive, that's cool, do you know what I mean? So they're very slow in the first year, especially no irrigation, the conditions we have here, but they're alive, and they're steadily, at the edges. Like we said, we plan these to have them, as as a live fencing in the future. By the way, if you haven't seen how we introduced this plot, we've got like 3 or 4 videos from, you know, a year ago. We'll have the link in the end to the other videos of how we implemented the plots. But you know, so these eucalyptus are in the border here, so we can get those live fencing going on. All the mahoganies and the cedar wood seedlings, they're looking good. The coffees have suffered, but they're alive, and if it means they're alive, it means they will recover. You know, you can see where, you know, the green plants, green leaves are coming out. So, you know, these are going to abandon. It's just going to be a longer processes. You know, I have coffees which I'm harvesting with 2 years, and I have coffees which I'm harvesting with 5 years, you know, in these slower processes. Now, if you recall, we had all these elephant grasses planted in the edges as well. So what we've done here, we've returned all of the elephant grass, you know, to itself. So we're kind of like on the edge, chopped it all down and returned it to itself. So like it's feeding back to itself. I don't want to, you know, be stealing this grass at the moment. I'm more concerned about when the drought comes in really hard. And, you know, if I feed back the elephant grass now, I give it strength for re-sprout, so that when the drought comes, I'll have the elephant grass. Now we can see, you know, same thing happening here, where our friend there, you know, so here's the elephant grass recently cutted. We've literally laid it in line where it was. The babies there where it was cut, and these were literally laid. All right, and see here we've got all this organic matter building up. So now we're giving, you know, the mulching around the coffee, and everywhere there's bare soils, we've got to cover it, because look, we're cutting. See there, we're cutting from the pasture here, and our friend is actually bringing it over, and this is a nice amount of material. As you can see, there's a nice amount of material there, and that's all got to go to the tree beds. So it's cool. So it's now we've saved it. Yeah, again, the elephant grass there all laid on the edges where we had that tractor, you know, wheels making that valley. We're really gonna fill it up with, you know, this brachiata. Right, so this is, you know, triple liner tree, you know, so where we've been fixing it there. I mean, you can see, you know, how lost we are here with, you know, in the rain season if we haven't managed it. So we can see the napier grass along the edges, and you know, at the moment I dare not to walk in there because it's pretty, you know, rough stuff. You see how, you know, yeah, but look, yeah, so there's like, you know, seeds from seedlings. So look, it's almost like a greenhouse. Obviously it's not ideal. Yeah, we've got the lost bananas here, a lot of the pigeon peas seeding back. That's great. So we've got pigeon peas galore. We actually forgot to show you in these ones here that have been done. We've actually cut all the pigeon peas back. We've actually cut these pigeon peas back, but you know, the ones that we've cut, you know, about 5 days ago, you can see the re-sprouts already. So everything now is for the drought, you know. You saw how much pigeon pea was out there. Already we can see this, yeah, already we can see re-sprouting of the pigeon peas. So these will survive. You can see it there, pigeon peas. So you already can see the re-sprouting. So at the moment we're giving everything back to the system, and we're getting ready for the drought so that we can harvest pigeon peas and harvest elephant grass for the animals, and you know, give life to the rest of the seedlings, so that next year we're harvesting bananas, and you know, we start harvesting maybe some citrus and some other stuff like that. All right, so this is, you know, goes to show it's not easy. It's 2 hectares. We haven't introduced the animals in yet. That's all right. We're going to use all the organic matter from the pastures, you know what I mean, to consolidate our tree rows. And see the mahogany, this one here is looking beautiful. And as we move up, we see better results. Look, now we've got a nicer eucalyptus tree, we've got a nicer banana trees, because we were at the bottom of the valley, you know. And if we look at the tree lines up here, yeah, better results. But we've got to come back and manage these, so I couldn't show you that right now. We started with what's less privileged, but you know, over here we already got a few bananas bearing fruit, you know, and some of the seedlings are looking much better. Yeah, very vigorous amount of legumes, you know, our pigeon peas, other kind of like crawling beans, really high protein stuff. So yeah, now eucalyptus is all there. You can see it's all there, it's alive. So we're going to be cleaning this up. I really would have rather been showing you this, you know, really plush, but this is the reality when, you know, you go through the rain season, you don't look after it, you just come out of the dry season. So this is a process literally where, you know, nature has taken its course, and now we're going to intervene just in time. This is the last minute possible, because I suppose if we do it now, it means, you know, we're looking after everything for the drought, and we're giving everything nice cover, and we're giving already, because we've still got another month of rain, we're giving the power, you know, for any resprouts, so it can come back and already shade off those coffees again for the drought. So we really need those pigeon peas to resprout pretty quick, you know, so that, like I said, up here, look, it's the same system, but we've got better soils. Even though it's been left already, we're producing some bananas. Yeah, we desperately need to come in and manage all of this. All right, so from the Agroforestry Academy crew, this is the reality down here in Sitio de Jazz at the moment. We're holding back the animals until we can consolidate. Oh, there's some barbed wire there on my jeans. So we're really holding back the animals until we can consolidate these tree rows, you know, because otherwise the animals are going to be there, even though we, you know, they can enrich in pastures through you know, through their roaming and that, but really I need that pasture to enrich in the tree rows. I need to, you know, consolidate my tree rows, have them well established, you know, have my eucalyptus up and strong, and, you know, my coffees, you know, I need to turn around the game, and I need extra mulch for that. So I'm using all of the pastures worth of, you know, so this rain season, all of the organic matter is still for the tree row. And, you know, as from next season, so, you know, in the second year, I can introduce the animals if I'm, you know, using processes where, you know, it hasn't been so favorable. All right. But it's been a real, let's say, it's been a real day, you know, like where I've implemented, you know, 2 hectares. You know, I've already got a couple of hectares of intensive agroforestry in the house to manage, and then we've got a further 2 hectares we planted all in one go. We had 2 guys working here, so it was it's a fast stretch. And then, you know, when we had a little bit of problem, we couldn't keep it up, so it didn't become the priority. So, you know, it's a bit of a stretch. So this is the lesson, you know, go for it. But beware that, you know, you're going to need your labor, have your labor ready, try not to mess that up. All right, so from the Agroforestry Academy crew, I hope you dig some of the learning curves here, and till next time. And don't forget to like the video. You know, we're just exposing ourselves, you know, opening the doors of our house to expose ourselves to our situation. Check out the videos where we implemented it a year ago. All right, so maybe you can learn something from that. And don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, do so. What are you waiting for, man? It's the best way you can support us. All right, until next time.